Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel for another speed build. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these, and this one feels like a little overdue because I wanted to use the Horse Ranch expansion pack for this build specifically. I do use other packs in this build, but I wanted like the majority of the items in here and also the style of the build to kind of reflect Horse Ranch as a pack. And we got that pack, I guess, like a couple months ago. So yeah, it is kind of overdue, to say the least, but I did find this house plan a couple days ago, and just the sheer size of it was intimidating alone, and I don't think I've ever built a house this big. I've definitely renovated big houses that come with the game before, and that feels a little less intimidating because the outline is already there. Like the shell of the house is already there for you to play around with, and like a theme and all that. It kind of takes like the pressure off of choosing everything yourself. And that's kind of like what I struggle with the most whenever I build houses is the initial stages. So that's, you know, drawing out the house, deciding on a color scheme, deciding on a style of build, and then trying to execute that. So I tend to use house plans a lot for my inspiration. And if you haven't tried it already, I really think you should, just because things like old Sears catalogs, you can kind of find these images online and on Pinterest. They have like Sears used to do whole house plans drawn out, and you could purchase them from Sears. And it sucks because I really wish that they still did that, but they don't. Because I would love to build my own house one day. I like move-in ready homes as they are, and you can kind of like add your own flair to it. Like I like the idea of being able to do that, but there's something really special about building your own house. I mean, this is probably why I like playing The Sims so much, to be honest, is because I like to fantasize about building my own house and what it would be like. Actually, I did that once. I tried building a house in San Sequoia. The place I live is nothing like San Sequoia, but I tried building a house in that world, and I don't know, I just got stuck because I was like, you know, I hadn't really like given it that much thought besides like fantasizing about it, is what kind of house I would actually like to live in. And honestly, I think I would rather much live in something like a simple 2-bed, 1-bath cottage. I don't know, it just sounds like really romantic and kind of dreamy, but I'm also a Taurus, so that makes a lot of sense why I would like that. So as you can see here, I am trying to kind of figure out a color scheme for the house because there's so much blue in this game. Blue was a safe choice, and to me this kind of felt like a modern ranch because it's like so huge and sprawled out that I wanted to stick with like blue, white, definitely wood colors. I was playing around with black and white for a second because I think that's like the most popular color scheme for modern ranch houses and just modern houses in general, just doing like white and black, because it has like a higher resale value, is my impression of why people do that. I also wanted to make a clear separation of some of the roof lines here to have that like shingle texture. And those shingles specifically come with growing together. I wanted to use that swatch, so I tried to incorporate like the light wood into the color scheme as well. And you'll see that I fiddle around with the swatches of things every now and then. And I'm just putting lights in the house. I chose the big saucer lights because they're much easier to find and to select. If I had chosen the smaller saucer lights, it would have been really, really hard to go back in later and change them out. So I just put in these big ones for now because this house is so huge, just so I could find them really easily. And I already got the floor plan worked out here because I was looking at a house plan like directly, like the image of it. And yeah, here I am swapping out the colors of things. So yeah, I changed all the windows to just like a nice dark brown wood tone. And then the accents inside and outside, like the roof line and then all of the beams in the house, those will be the light wood. I think I also chose light wood for the doors, so it could be like a cohesive kind of look. I guess, no, I'm looking at the interior doors now and they're kind of the same swatch as the outside doors and windows. And then with the roof, I felt like a aluminum roof is a classic for modern farmhouses. And I absolutely love these windows that came with Horse Ranch because you can stack them like this. I wanted to go crazy for a second and do like a whole like top floor, bottom floor thing, but it just didn't look as good. It just didn't look the way I wanted it to. And then I continued that line over to the double doors in the back. And I was toying around with the idea of doing like a bigger deck, but then I realized like I do want to build a barn in the back. So I didn't do too much with that back deck, just a few things that I'll show you later. And then I'm just working out the windows for the rest of the house, which was pretty simple because I actually like the variety of windows that we got in Horse Ranch. They're all a really nice size. These ones by the bedrooms though, those big ones, those are base game. And to incorporate like the Horse Ranch thing into it, I just decided to put shutters on all of those big windows, which I think they look really good. For the kitchen, this thing is enormous. So I wanted to make sure that I put enough things in all the spaces that it made sense. So the center island here is just going to be like a conversation space. I just put some bar stools down there. The fridge is going to be to the right, and then the stove has like its own little area, and then like the washing up and sink and dishwasher area is in its own area too. So I tried to make this have like a good workflow. Realistically though, you'd probably want your sink across from your stove so you can easily grab water, or you can throw pots and pans into the sink right after. But because this kitchen is so enormous, I just thought this is probably the layout that I would choose if my kitchen was this big. But I'd probably have multiple sinks and multiple stoves, who knows. I also really like this wood tone in the kitchen. And with the wood tone, I was thinking what colors would complement this kitchen the best. And I kind of wanted to do like mostly pastels in this house. In my mind, I'm thinking like with all the windows in here too, I just wanted to keep it light and airy. And also with the floor being so light, I just wanted to stick with that kind of color scheme. I did toy around with doing like a dark wood to match like the windows and stuff, but I do switch it out later. I added a butler's pantry into this house. It was part of the floor plan, and I felt like it was an easy way to use up space. So I almost wanted to put like the double cabinets that come with Dream Home Decorator in here, but I thought about it for a second and I thought, but those go down whenever, or you don't see them whenever you put the walls down, which to me is just a waste of space. I'd rather have like something to visually look at. So I just put some of those shelves that come with Eco Lifestyle and I think Laundry Day in here too. I did add a laundry room into the house because if I am using Laundry Day items, and there are a lot that I really like, then I might as well include the washer and dryer. For a house this size and how many Sims you'd probably have living in it, it would probably be miserable to do laundry. I don't use laundry that much in my regular gameplay, but I have before just to make it kind of interesting. I used to play like the Decades Challenge, not the Ultimate Decades Challenge, but the one that goes from like 1890 to I guess like current times. And in those earlier decades, like 1890 to maybe like 1920, there just isn't a lot going on. So I felt like it was kind of limited gameplay. I just used laundry to give my Sims something to do. Moving on to the living room, I originally wanted to use the cottage living fireplace, but I totally forgot that we got one with Horse Ranch. So using this one in the house made a lot of sense because the foundation is the same color. I'm sure they would have the same brick to lay this fireplace. I mean, cohesively, it looks pretty good. Deciding on a color scheme for the living room was a little challenging because some of the swatches are just really, really busy, and I think I wanted the rug to pull in the most color. So I chose all three of the same sofa, and then they have like a plain, kind of like this caramelly brown swatch here, and then they also have one with like an upholstered seat, which I think is a really nice touch. And for a while I was kind of not sure what to do with that space behind the fireplace. It just felt like too small of a room to do anything with, so eventually I do turn it into a nursery. I will show you that at the very end. And then off to the entrance here is the office, so it's just going to be like a big study space, I guess, for like one Sim, because there's only one. I only put one desk in here, and I originally wanted to use these bookshelves from Book Nook because they're so easy to interchange, and they all have like different options and swatches, which I think is so fun. I just love modular furniture in The Sims. I think it's really cool. But eventually I do swap it out. And in here I also wanted to stick with like a pastel theme, which was a little hard because all the desk chairs that I wanted to use in here just did not have those swatches. I think I swap it out eventually too. But yeah, with the light blue seats that come with cottage living, I felt like that pulled in a nice amount of color, and like the light wood, I wanted to keep it all very light and bright in here because there actually wasn't that much natural light. Moving on to the left side of the house, this is going to be 2 kids' bedrooms. They're enormous though, so there's a lot going on in them. And so I wanted to do, I guess it's called like a Jack and Jill kind of bathroom. So they each have like their own toilet space and like vanity space. And then they share like a shower and a tub area. And then for the bedrooms, I was envisioning that maybe like a teenager and a child live here. So they each have like their own huge, enormous spaces. I definitely gave the teenager a bigger room. I noticed in high school years, like whenever the pack first came out, they have a lot of double beds. So I don't think I've ever built an actual teenager's room in this game that had enough space for like all the stuff and like decorated it the way that I wanted to. So I kind of wanted to do that here. And now I'm moving on to the laundry room. So I wanted to use the same kind of counter swatches as like the bathroom. And, you know, it's similar to the kitchen as well. Just like that nice, like rich wood. I don't know how to describe that one. Like a honey wood? I don't know. So yeah, it's going to be pretty straightforward in here. Just a lot of baskets. And I decided to go with a light blue swatch of the washer and dryer because it's cute. I never use it. I always use white or black. And then I wanted to put those shelves in here. And I love that little like folding space, like that low side table. I think it's really cute. I think I've only used it in like 1 or 2 of my other gameplay, like my own like saves before. And also the utility sink. I never ever use it, but I think like this is one of the only rooms where it would work. Obviously that's why it came with the pack. So I wanted to put all the things that you would need for laundry in here for like a big family and just make it make sense. And use a lot of those laundry day items as well. Now I'm getting into kind of like putting down furniture for the kids' rooms. For the teenagers' room, I really just wanted to do like pastels. I mean, that's like the entire house, but yeah, I did a lot of yellow, blue, peach, pink, every single pastel swatch you can think of. And I wanted it to be super cute, so obviously this is like a teenage girl or just like someone who really appreciates pastels who lives in this room. And there's a walk-in closet, excuse me, I don't know why I said walk-off. There's a walk-in closet attached to this room as well. It's not as big as the kids' room, but it's still a nice size like walk-in closet. I also really like that shelf that came, it's a bookshelf that came with University. I think it's a really good way to kind of separate rooms into distinct spaces. So I wanted to use that. I think I eventually move it though, just because like the spaces didn't feel like the right size. I don't know. It just wasn't working for me. But in other builds that I've done where you have like a really long room, they're really nice to like separate off spaces. So I use them in like places that I've built that are like studio apartments. I think it makes a lot of sense in those. And because this sim that lives in this room is a teenager, I wanted to use a lot of items that came with high school years, obviously, and then also just like those cluttery items, like the messy laundry pile. I just love it so much because it really adds like an element of realism into the game. I guess same with laundry, but yeah, I really wanted to make this space feel kind of like eclectic, not too neat, like a teenager actually lives here. A rich teenager, obviously. But yeah, she has like a little, or the sim has like a little record player station over here, a few knickknacks on the bookshelf, and I really wanted like each corner to be kind of filled. I thought a memo board would be cute in here too. Obviously I'm pulling a lot from the pastel pop kit. High school years, I mean, just like a million packs. I am so sorry to anyone who wants to download this and they don't have all these packs. I just kind of like let my creative freedom run free in this house, especially with so big of a house. Whenever I build smaller houses, it's a lot easier for me to restrict myself to like 2 or 3 packs maybe, but like especially the clutter items, just because I love clutter. Like a lot of those come in kits. And to me, like whenever I buy a kit, I feel like it's easily justifiable just because, I don't know, I spend my money willy-nilly. So $5 to me, I can easily justify it. But yeah, again, sorry to anyone who wants to download this and they don't have all the packs. I kind of just let loose on this one. The color scheme for this room, I kind of wanted to be a little bit different, so I decided to do like blue and red, and yeah, I guess it's pretty typical of like, I guess a little boy's room is what I'm envisioning, because I'm putting all these sports items in here too. I just didn't want to be, didn't want it to be too typical, but when I chose that rug that I put under the bed, I just thought like those colors looked really good together. And now moving on to the walk-in closets. I also wanted these to have like their own distinct style. There's enough room in each one of these rooms for a dresser and then one of those like hanging displays, which I love those. Those are so nice. I feel like a lot more people like open shelving now for their clothes. They like to be able to see what they have. I mean, I feel the same way because whenever I put my clothes away in a drawer, I sometimes forget that I have them. And then with the color scheme in here, I wanted to kind of match the bedroom color schemes for each closet. So in the teenager's room, all pastel. And then in the kids' room, it's kind of like a dark wood. And I feel like that complements that blue and red pretty good. For a second there, I wanted to just like clutter up the closet too, but I don't know. I really don't feel like a closet needs too much. So yeah, a couple pairs of sneakers, a box or two, and then I thought stacking these pillows would be really cute. Probably just have like pillows ready for like their buddies whenever they have sleepovers. I think that came with the little campers kit. I also really like the swatches of stuff that comes in that kit. And then I wanted to add the same rug into that walk-in closet because I couldn't really find another rug that matched that color scheme that would look good in a closet, like a runner rug, so I just put two side by side. Now I'm moving on to the garage. It was in the house plan drawn out as a garage, but with The Sims we don't really have any cars, so I decided just to turn it into like kind of a workspace or like a workout space, like something that your Sims would get use out of. So in a second here I'll show you. I split the room in half. It's a really big space. So half of it will be a workout space with a yoga mat and some of like the training equipment, like the treadmill and all that. And then the other half will be kind of like a workshop space. So I put the woodworking table in here, a few shelves eventually, and then the science station. Because I mean, with a house this big, like you probably would just have all the kids' items in here. I just needed to fill up space, to be honest. I put these little mats down in front. I thought it was really cute. I did add a bathroom off of the side of the garage. And I think in total, there's like 6 bathrooms in this place. I'll have to double check. Now moving on to the barn. I just kind of started building. I just wanted to make sure I had enough space for all of the horse beds. And I do change the shape of this building a few times. I think I land on 3 horse beds. So you have space for 3 horses. And then it leads out into a little training area. I cut a lot of this out because this took me forever to do. Like, I'm talking maybe like 8 hours to do all this. With the color scheme of the barn that I choose eventually, it's going to be, I think, like mostly pastel as well, so that it looks like it makes sense with the rest of the house. And then doing this little barn roof here, I had to teach myself how to do it again because I forgot for a second. I think it looks good. And I'm getting into the portion here where I will show you around. Like I said, I cut out a lot. So I did a lot of landscaping here, just some dirt, because this lot here in Chestnut Ridge is all dirt. And in the front here, I just added a few sets of rocking chairs in white. Put some of these like oil lamps outside. I think it's really cute. And then I just decided to use a lot of like horse ranch items, like the wallpaper in most of the house, like the big common areas of the house. Cluttered up the office a little bit, and I brought more color into these spaces. I did add like that hutch that's a little bit thinner that came with horse ranch into the dining room. A lot of clutter here in the living room, but you can still route around all this stuff pretty easily. And I added like a reading nook to the side here, little basket for blankets and stuff. And then into the kitchen. I love this space. I'm absolutely in love with this kitchen. I decided to go with green to tie it all together. I have to move that knife block. I totally forgot about it. So yeah, super, super pastel in this house. I absolutely love the color scheme. And you'll see here, I'm checking the ceiling a few times just to make sure that like it looks good. Most houses I've been in have a white ceiling and there's nothing wrong with it. I don't feel like I need to paint ceilings all the time. Sometimes it's appropriate, but I don't think in this house it was. With the master bedroom, I did like all really soft blues, and then in their bathroom, I did kind of like a tealy blue. In their walk-in closet, I decided to put a huge mirror, some of the industrial kind of stuff in here. I feel like it matched pretty well. And I'm showing off the garage here. I love, 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 love it. I feel like this garage would be a space that I would use if I was living here. A nice, like, quiet space. There's a bathroom off to here. I think I did the same color scheme for all the bathrooms. Like a pink and teal kind of thing. And then here's that laundry room. Oh, look at all this natural light. So gorgeous. And then off to here's the basement. I didn't record any of the basement, but I'll show you what it is in just a little bit. Now we're going to the left wing of the house. Cute little storage on the wall. Here's that kid's room. Super cluttered. I think it's realistic. Like a kid definitely lives in this room. And then his little walk-in closet. Kind of boring, but whatever. And then we're going into the bathrooms. So yeah, their own little toilet space. Bathing space. Very nice. And then her toilet space. The teenager's toilet space. Into her room. And yeah, I cut out some more shapes from like the other rooms so I could kind of make this room a little bit smaller because it was enormous. And then this is their walk-in closet. I love it. Love that minty and teal kind of thing. Put some of those frames up from growing together in the hallway. And then I turned this room behind the fireplace into a nursery. So there's a little bit more space for like all age groups. I also didn't record any of the upstairs. But upstairs there's like a little guest suite up here. So this is like their bathroom. And then across this way from the landing is the guest room. So pretty neutral in here. I didn't want to put anything that was too busy, like the wallpaper. I just decided to keep it plain white. And then the rest of the upstairs here is like a giant playroom. So chess, puppet theater, creativity corner with like paint, and then a music corner. And then I put the decoration box down there too. I think I'm about to show you guys the basement. I recorded this beforehand, so I was just trying to save time. Yeah, here down in the basement is the huge nectar tasting room. I don't know how they got all this down there, but they did. And then just like a sad, lonely room for the nectar making. All right, outside we have just a little bistro table with an umbrella. One of them grills from Horse Ranch. And then out here in the barn, I love it. Yellow and blue and white. And you have a few of these like little play balls here. And I painted the ceiling of this barn. I didn't put anything in the loft. I didn't like actually make a loft, so it's just a raised ceiling. And then here's the view your horsies get. So yeah, now we're gonna go outside. And yeah, their training area here is pretty standard. So yeah, just around here, I put up a few lights, and yeah, there's some nice shade here for the jumping area. They have a few feeders and water troughs as well, and then the barrels out here. And yeah, that is the house, y'all. I am actually really, really proud of this. Yeah, I'm just so impressed that I actually pulled something like this off because I never do huge builds. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, just leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, just so you know whenever I put another video up. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!